What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is time for transfer talk, and we're going to do a little something different today. We're going to be focusing on outgoings in this video because I feel that Leeds United need to free up wages for one, free up squad spaces in order to strengthen and make those spaces more useful, and also get transfer funds in. You know, we need to do all of that, and I just don't feel, as we sit here on the 10th of July, I don't feel the club have been active enough in this mission in order to get players out. And as we're seeing through the training videos and the pictures that are being posted on social media, it doesn't seem that there's any rush for some of these players to leave. Now, I hope that this video ages like milk and 3 depart this evening, but it's highly unlikely. First of all, I want to say this in terms of Georgia's Mikautadze, who I feel should be easily on Leeds United's radar, especially if we're looking for a main number 9, a main striker. Lyon's situation has changed. They are staying in League 1. We know that, but they will still have to make sales, and he could be one that is exiting. Now, we know Sunderland had an appreciation and interest in him that was genuine, but it seems that he's a little, they've been priced out now. Okay, they can only go up to something like 20 million euros, according to reports. Lyon are looking for at least 30. Now, with the way we've spent in the transfer window so far, that should be no problem. You know, we've only spent roughly around 30 million. Obviously, there's other things involved in that, but the outlay hasn't been that big. And I've already said I think we're going to go big on a goalkeeper and a forward. He would be one that should be on the list. But Atalanta are involved in the chat as well as Roma, Gasparini's Roma. So there's going to be competition for him. But I'm saying here, Leeds United should be involved in this kind of this kind of deal, because we need a signing like this in order to up the quality of what we've got so far. Speaking of outgoings, we could be getting some transfer funds in this summer with Charlie Cresswell. We've already, reported on this previously in regards to, like a 1.6 million if he sold for like 14 million. But Charlie Cresswell, Fabrizio putting this out today, can leave Toulouse this summer as Premier League and Serie A clubs have started to move for the 22-year-old defender after his recent performances, which, I mean, I said it last year. I knew it was going to happen. Doesn't take a genius to work that out, so I don't get any big credit for that. But it was so obvious he was going to shine at Toulouse, and as he's done on the international stage. We just have to see how much he goes for and how much of a cut Leeds United will get of that transfer fee. So stay tuned to that one. My thing is what we've got in this squad, and when are we going to start seeing moves made? When are uncomfortable conversations going to be had with some players here that have got no future at the football club, or in my opinion, no future at the football club? We don't know what Farker and the team have said behind the scenes, so I guess we won't know until like press conferences and stuff. But just going by the optics of things, when are we going to start seeing some movement of some of these players leaving? Now, I can already see it in the comments. I can already see nobody wants these players, etc., etc. That's just not true. There's always going to be interest for players, and it doesn't matter what you and I think of the player. There are always interest for professional footballers. I mean, you're seeing a situation at Man United where they're trying to move people out, but the difference is with their players is that they're on like 200, 300,000 a week. Now, that is harder to move than, say, what we've got here. And there would have to be a compromise. Of course, there would have to be a compromise in terms of, say, someone who I'm going to mention later in the video, where we may have to accept a lower transfer fee, or maybe even, say, go on a free, but he just gets the wages off the books. And I just feel that this club, as historical as it's been as well, is moving far too slow with getting some of these players out. Far too slow. Jack Harrison, we know that there's interest from Everton there. When are we going to see him move on? I don't think, I've already stated, I don't think this is going to be a permanent move. I think he's going to move on loan back to Everton. But why can't we get this in motion in order to get those wages freed up? And then we can go for another signing. Maybe we can hijack the Pashao signing if we free up those wages, get a little more wiggle room in that area. Maybe, I don't know. Nobody knows the finances but the 49ers. But get some haste with these kind of outgoings. Meslier, we know we're going to need a new number 1. Why isn't he being actively sold at this point in time? When I heard from my guy that his name was being moved out there, I haven't heard an update since. And which would say to me that they're either just saying, okay, it's out there once, that's it, or there's just not enough urgency here. Why is Meslier still here? No, is it? Are we going to hear from Farker? You know, it didn't go right for him, but up until I dropped him, he had 19 clean sheets and all that. Are we going to hear that nonsense? And then he's going to be our number one after reportedly, you know, so many public attempts at trying to get a replacement. I need to see some movement with this guy. With all the names of sixes that we've been linked with, Gruev, are we going to try and get him a move away? Because it doesn't make any sense to me keeping Gruev around if we're going to try and go for a midfielder and another, like Stack and another who is not Longstaff anymore, thankfully. But that doesn't make sense. So are we going to try and move Gruev out and at least raise a little funds for him, you know, in terms of getting him off the books, freeing up that roster spot and getting someone else in there? Or is he staying? Some of the more peripheral ones, the ones that are surplus to requirements, Sam Greenwood, when is he going to leave? Like teams, the reason why I'm saying this now is because teams are back in preseason, are back in preseason training. Games are coming up soon. Surely, if there's a move for these kind of players, they will happen during preseason, so the managers can get to work with them during the preseason and look at them in preseason games, see where they fit the best. Sam Greenwood is still here. Joe Gelhardt, why haven't we sorted a move for him yet? You know, the list goes on. JB, I mean, JB's got no future at the club at this point in time. Does he go on a permanent or does he go out on loan again? I would vote for loan, but if the club feel that they can get a permanent deal for him, I'm not against it. But why is he still around? You know, why is he still here when he's not going to play a part in the Premier League? He didn't play a part in our championship promotion squad. He's not going to play a part in the Premier League. That's clear. Isaac Schmidt, who we know is his agent has said he's not happy at the football club due to the amount of games he played or didn't play, I should say, and in his preferred position. When are we going to move him on? Again, I always say this because people talk about Isaac Schmidt like he's 19 or 20 years old. He's 25, people. He's literally going to turn 26 in the middle of this season. No, he should be a regular first team player or a clear backup, and he's not. And he won't be in the Premier League either. So when are we going to move Isaac Schmidt on in order to get in another fullback who will be used, who will be trusted to be a deputy to Bogle or competition? Not deputy, let me scrap that word. Competition for Bogle, because that means I'm lowering the standard of what I'm expecting to come in. Isaac Schmidt, Matteo Joseph. If a new coach should come in, I wouldn't be suggesting Joseph leaves, and I think Joseph would have probably fancied his chances under a new coach. But with Farker still here, Matteo Joseph, he's not back from the under 21s. You know, he's got an extended break along with Nanto and a couple of others. When are we going to sort of move out for him? Because at this point in time, people, we've got Peru, Metcha, Joseph, and Bamford as our striking options. What's that going to do? What's that going to do? And listen, as I said before, I would have kept Joseph around for that young talent who can make the step up. Under a different coach, I would have said that. But with the current coach still there, he's not going to get much game time. Let's sort out a move for him, preferably loan. But if he wants to move permanently, I don't hold it against him. Plus, it will look good on the PSR books. And then you got this guy, and this goes to the point of maybe you can't get much of a transfer fee, but just getting his wages off the books would be an immense thing. Getting him off the books permanently would just be a good thing. I've talked enough about this, about the Stockholm syndrome when it comes to this guy. But look at the official account. It's embarrassing. Like, I don't know how, if you're an ambitious Leeds United fan, you don't feel embarrassed about this kind of post going out, putting in the hard yards. I mean, what are we doing here? 2025, this isn't Patrick Bamford off the empty stadium 17 goal season. This is Patrick Bamford who's done absolutely nothing for 3 years and he's been promoted or on the official socials. It's embarrassing. Like, and the way that the window's going, I understand when people are leaving comments that we may see Harrison and Bamford, all these guys start. I, I would say I can't disagree with those people at this point in time because there's been no evidence that they're being moved out of here. There's been no evidence. There's been no reports from opposing sides. It's not from the 49ers side. They're not going to feed that information out there. It would be from the clubs that we're offering these players to, where the reports will come from saying Patrick Bamford has been offered to so-and-so, Jack Harrison has been offered to so-and-so, and we're not hearing a peep. It's very quiet, which is disturbing to me. we need to move some of these players on, and for the fans' sake as well, because some of the fans, they're getting tricked already with Bamford in preseason just from pictures, man. It's a strange thing. But I put this up before. This is our window so far, people. And again, don't focus on the money spent, 30 million. That's not important here. It's the quality. Got Goodmanson, Banal, Biol, and Metcha. And of course, Byram on a new contract. Guys, this does not scream Premier League. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Biol aside, I genuinely believe we could have signed Metcha in the championship with him looking for a rejuvenation in his career. But now would have been signed under Danny Farker if Norwich had gone up, and Goodmanson would have been happy at any Premier League team. And that's not to say Goodmanson's not going to be a good player. Listen to the main point I'm trying to say here. We haven't signed anything above and beyond what is going to take us above that dreaded dotted line in the Premier League. Biol will help, but he's not going to be able to do it by himself, not with the goalkeeper we've currently got behind him. So for me, the concern at this point in time is the lack of movement out, and Leeds United need to start having uncomfortable conversations with these players and telling them to tell their agents to find new clubs for them. But I just don't feel like those conversations are happening, people. I really don't. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on anything discussed in the video, or just your thoughts in general at this point in time, people, because at the moment as well, by the way, it's been very quiet in terms of any new rumors or any new bids or anything else like that. There's been nothing of note from yesterday's video, so there's been nothing to update you on. But yeah, give me your thoughts in the comments, man. And listen, big up for all the support lately, man. It really does mean a lot. Like the video, is free to do, helps out the channel immensely. Big up to all new members of the channel as well, and all existing members. Thank you for that support. And if you want to become a member, the link is in the description. Guys, I will see you in the next one, hopefully with some new signings. Yeah, some new key signings, I should say. Peace out.